he has this vision, that you need in a top team like Chelsea who wants to win and be champions. It's true that they were a team a little bit, you could see that they were lacking ideas in the last season and maybe at the beginning of this season. But yeah, with Ziyech, you can see that he has this last pass, and it's not only that he sees it, it's that he makes it right at the right time, which is the decision making that we talk about nowadays. Why are coaches so tactical? Because they see that the decision making of the players is not that good, so they need to teach them always what to do. Where before I believe that coaches were not so much on top of the player, because they felt maybe that there was not really so much need, because already the players saw it by themselves. But I think he's one of these players. He makes things happen, things that when the defenders, the center backs, let's say, they don't expect you to make that pass and you catch them sleeping, and you have someone like Timo Werner making great runs in behind. And I think this is where Chelsea could be so powerful this year.
Which you can see all of Chelsea's midfielders are below average for chances created, which is something that we'll be able to get onto later on. Hakim Ziyech is pretty good at. For the potential cost of €44 million, Ziyech could be a steal, so long as he can settle in London. So how could he fit into Lampard's side? This season, Lampard has predominantly set Chelsea up in a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, with either Mason Mount sporting Abraham as a second striker or a midfield trio of Jorginho, Kovacic and Kante. Add that to the emergence of youngsters, Tomori and Reece James at the back, and the return of Rudiger, Chelsea look like they'll be competing for top honours once again. The problems though Chelsea do face are on the flanks. Christian Pulisic started the season well, but has faded massively in recent weeks. Willian and Pedro are the wrong side of 30, and they've been declining for a number of years now, whilst Callum Hudson-Odoi is still looking to get back to his best form after he ruptured his Achilles tendon. I expect Ziyech to largely line up on the right flank, where he could look to either operate in a free role as a roaming playmaker or in a more structured role as an inverted winger. Giving Ziyech a freer role to roam around the pitch will get the best out of him at Chelsea. Ajax under Erik ten Hag have mostly lined up in a 4-2-1-3, with Ziyech mostly on the right-hand side. But Ten Hag's total football model sees a lot of positional interchange, which can have Ziyech operating on the right as a striker, on the left or as a number 10, or even deeper in central midfield. In the final third, it's Ziyech who makes the difference, being the guy to up the tempo by creating chances for his teammates or taking shots from range. Not only is Ziyech creating 3.7 chances per game this season, which is nearly double of Chelsea's best creative player, but he also takes 4.6 shots in Eredivisie, 50% more than Tammy Abraham, who takes the most shots per game for Chelsea. This has made Ziyech a very versatile footballer. Whilst he's most effective from the right-hand side, where he can look to cut inside and get a cross to the back post or get a shot away, he's more than capable of playing anywhere across the line. Not that I'd like to see him as a striker for Chelsea, but being able to interchange with the other wingers to switch up the attack could be key for Lampard. Playing as more of a supporting winger on the left-hand side, looking to whip in dangerous balls, or from the right-hand side, operating as more as the primary playmaker in the side, picking up the ball out wide, then using his excellent technique, close control and agility to beat opponents before whipping those crosses to the back post or driving centrally and getting a shot away. In this season's Eredivisie and Champions League, Hakim Ziyech has scored 4 goals from outside the box, more than nearly double of any Chelsea player. And that threat from range will force opponents to close down Ziyech, which the Moroccan can dribble past, creating space for teammates to exploit. A different option is a 4-3-3 playing as a central midfielder at the expense of Mateo Kovacic, with Jorginho as the orchestrator, Kante as the energetic ball winner and Ziyech as the creator. From there, Ziyech could operate as a Mazzala, driving into the half space where he can look to play his natural game, sending those crosses into the box or dribbling past players or getting shots away. What I'd like to see though from Ziyech at Chelsea is maybe a switch in systems to a 3-4-2-1. Lampard has used this shape this season, but I personally think he doesn't have 2 players correct for the 2 number 10 roles. In Ziyech, he's now got one of these positions locked down, whilst the likes of Mason Mount, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Christian Pulisic can fight out for the other position. Mount as the goal-scoring option, Hudson-Odoi as an extra playmaker, or Pulisic as the direct dribbler. Lampard's Chelsea's squad contains a lot of Conte's title winners who played the same system, with good attacking wing-backs, ball-playing centre-backs and a midfield pair of Kante the aggressor and Jorginho the sweeper that can dominate most games. It's also the system that Chelsea's incredible youth academy used last season, so would further help talented youngsters like Billy Gilmore, Conor Gallagher and Luke McCormack transition into the first team under Lampard. It also allowed Chelsea to make better use of their countering game, both in counter-pressing and counter-attacking. The defensive width provided by a back five not only make them difficult to break down, but the 2-10's central positioning makes the shape dangerous on the counter-attack, allowing Chelsea to be a little bit more pragmatic, inviting pressure on before counter-attacking. In terms of counter-pressing, the three centre-backs tends to make the shape resistant to opposition counter-attacks. So the front three, plus the same side central midfielder and wing-back, can press high and less worry if the press is broken. The opposition will outnumber them on the counter-attack. The drawbacks to the system, however, is that it often relies heavily on the excellence of three attackers. In Tammy Abraham, Chelsea have got an excellent goal scorer, but Abraham isn't Hazard, a player that can carry an attack single-handedly. But with Ziyech, Chelsea now have a truly elite creator. Over the past two Eredivisie seasons, Hakim Ziyech has created on average 3.7 chances per game. Not only more than any Chelsea player over that time, but more than Eden Hazard has averaged at any point in his career. Granted, the Eredivisie isn't the top league, but the consistent level of creativity Ziyech has shown in the past couple of seasons bodes well. He's also created well in the Champions League, with only 3 players creating more chances in the competition since the start of the last season than the soon-to-be Chelsea man. What's more is Ziyech will work extraordinarily hard in the press, but not necessarily defend his own box. Again, this is suited to the system, with 7 defensive players and a front 3 that can position themselves aggressively, which is perfect for Ziyech's transitional defence. In this season's Champions League, Ziyech is averaging an outrageous 6.1 tackles per 90, more than any Chelsea player, enough to rank him 6th best in the competition for players who've played over 150 minutes. Ziyech is a very different player to anyone currently in the Chelsea squad. Whilst you can make comparisons to the likes of Mason Mount and Ross Barkley for their shooting from outside the box, or Christian Pulisic for his tendency to dribble, but no forward combines dribbling, shooting and playmaking like Ziyech, nor do they produce what the Moroccan does in the final third. All in all, Ziyech is a fantastic signing for Chelsea and Lampard. The only criticism, that they couldn't get the deal done in January that could potentially have guaranteed the Blues' top 4 finish. But
no, I think it's 2 different situations. The game against Brighton, I think the first, till we get the 1-0, we didn't play well, so there was a little bit of frustration. But today, I think from the beginning, we played well. We had them where we wanted. Sometimes they had some counter-attacks, but it wasn't really dangerous at all. But I think we played a good game with a lot of chances, a lot of football, and yeah, so it was a different situation, like I said.
Don't be modest. How good do you think that goal was?
How good it was?
It's up there.
Yeah, I think it was a 10 out of 10, I think.
Yeah.
Was it one of those, as soon as it leaves your foot, you know, that's it? No point in the goalkeeper moving?
No, I was following the ball, but I thought maybe I hit it a little bit hard, but on the end I saw it going, and, you know, yeah.
That was a beautiful goal. Mason as well.